Good morning everyone. So I'm gonna present about unit testing, that is a tool for executing the unit test. And before the presentation begin, let me introduce my team members. So there is me, Sahoby, and Revinda, and Vira. So let's begin with the presentation. So firstly, let me announce the presentation outline. So here we got the definition of unit testing, the type of unit testing, and the last one, that is example of PHP unit testing. Let's get begin. So why do we do unit testing? Firstly, let me give simple definition of unit testing. Unit testing is a type of software testing where individual units or components of a software are tested. The purpose is to validate that each of the software code perform as expected. And then why do we do unit testing? So unit testing is important because software developers maybe sometimes try to save in time by doing minimal unit testing, and this is might because inappropriate unit testing leads to high cost effect fixing during system testing, integration testing, and even the beta testing after application is built. So if proper unit testing is done in the early development, then it saves time and money in the end. And next is about how to do unit testing. So here we got two types of unit testing. Firstly, manual. A manual approach to unit testing may employ a step-by-step instructional document. That means that it's executed by a human tester. It consuming an human resource, the manual testing, and time consuming because it's done by a human tester. And the second one is automated testing. Automated testing is a developer writes a section of code in the application just to test the function. They would later comment out and finally remove the test code when the application is deployed. So the automated testing is significantly faster than a manual approach, and the automated testing are executed without human assistance, so oftentimes via test automation framework along with other tools or software.
Now let's move on to the types of unit testing. So there are basically three types of unit testing. The first type is black box testing, using which the user interface, input and output are tested. Black box unit testing examines the functionality of an application without peering into its internal structures or workings, so without knowing the internal structure of the application. This method of test can be applied virtually to every level of software testing. So black box can be unit testing or integration testing or system testing or even acceptance testing. So that's why we categorize black box testing as an example as a type of unit testing. And after that we have white box unit testing, which is used to test each one of those functions behavior is tested. So white box unit testing is also called clear box testing or glass box testing or transparent box testing or structured structural testing. It is a testing method that tests internal structures of working application as opposed to its functionality. So in white box unit testing, an internal perspective of the system as well as the programming skills are used to design the test cases. So we need programming skills, and we have to see the code, the internal system, to be able to design the test cases. The tester chooses inputs to execute paths through the code and determines the expected outputs. And white box testing can be applied at unit, that's why we call it a type of unit testing, and also can be an integration testing and can even be a system testing. And the last type of testing, unit testing, is the gray box unit testing. So the gray box unit testing, as its name implies, is a combination of both black box and white box. So in gray box unit testing, the internal structure or the code is partially known, so we don't know it, we don't know the code integrally, but only some parts of the code are known by the tester. And after that, let's move on to the tools of unit testing. So we have five tools of unit testing. The first one is JUnit. JUnit is a free-to-use testing tool used for Java programming language. So JUnit is used for Java. NUnit is a widely used unit testing framework for all .NET languages. So it is for .NET languages. JMarket is a code coverage tool with line and path metrics. Emma is an open source toolkit for analyzing and reporting code written in Java language. And finally, we have PHP-UNIT. PHP-UNIT is a unit testing tool for PHP programmer. So those are the five tools for unit testing.
So here we are going to explain about the example of JUnit testing. And here we have to make two classes, first calculator, and we have two functions, bagi and tampil. So integer bagi, we already have return integer statement, and bagi functions have two parameters, integer x and integer y. And integer hasil equals by 0, and we are using try catch. In the try catch, we are using hasil x divided by y. If this statement exceptions to the catch with arithmetic exceptions, then it will be print by get message. And then next one, tampil functions with parameter string x. And we have integer hasil, so it will be print the result hasil to return the value of x plus by 5. Integer value of is used to convert string to integer. And then for the main class, we call it testing. For the main class, we have to make an object calculator class, and we convert into k as new calculator's name, and then we create variable x and the value is k with the argument 4 and 0. So it will be print the result by x. For the testing, we have to add library in here. For the add library, we can right click and add library in here, and then choose JUnit 4.12 in. here and click Add Library. To avoid self-harm error, we can use harm crash core jar that we can download in internet. And then for the add jar, we can right click and add jar or folder in here and then choose the jar. After that, we can add new testing class by right click and click new test for existing class to test. We can browse in here and then choose the class. I choose testing and then click finish. It will show in this package, testing package, and automatically show the import for unit testing. We have after class, before class test, and also assert for testing test. And then we try to run the testing using run and test project. We have an error in here. Test pass 0%. So we have to doing something in this project. So first of all, because we have two functions, bagi and tampil, we create test for bagi and then test for tampil. For the bagi, we will add x and y variable in here and then choose x, 4 and 2. Why? Because 4 divided by 0, it will return an error because the number that divided by 0 actually is infinity. So we try to use 4 and 2 statement and then make an object for calculator class, and then this is the name of object. This is instance. Create an expected result x divided by y, and then for the result we use instance dot bagi. So for the expected result we use the operation, and for the result we use the function of the calculator class, and then it will show assert equals. Assert equals will return is it equals from the result value and expected result value. And then for the test tampil, it will show the tampil and then the result, because it just check the tampil function. We will just using 6 in here and then instance.tampil. It means it just show or not. And then we can run in here and then click test project, click open, and then test pass 100%. Look at this, hasil is 11 because this is 6 string 6 plus by 5, because in calculator in here the value of x plus by 5, so this is 6 plus by 5 is 11. And then that's all from me for the testing of JUnit.
So our presentation touched in its end. Thank you for your attention. We hope that the information that we put inside our presentation is clear enough, and if we made some mistakes in the middle of our presentation, have a nice day.